How's it going, everybody? I am Preston Johnson. Welcome to Last Word Cheetah, brought to you by Bets TV.
You guys a general philosophy?
That's exactly right. You're a fish. Qwan, by the way, my producer, Qwan Young, doing a good job. He'll be taking the calls. How you doing today, bud?
Hey, man, how are you?
We appreciate you guys tuning in. Welcome to the show, Bets TV, bringing you Last Word Cheetah.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Last Word Cheetah. I am the host today, Qwan Young. Do not adjust your television sets. There's nothing wrong with Preston. He decided to give me he decided to give me the floor. This is my host, Preston Johnson, or co-host, excuse me. How are you doing today, Preston?
Is my mic on? All right, we're good. Ty's already trying to call it. What in the hell happened to the fat beard guy?
What's going on? Why is this guy?
Look, you want to take the floor, talk about your Matthew Stafford MVP bet after one win against the Bears, in which he threw for 3 touchdowns.
It's hard.
You know how many people this week threw for so far? Threw for 3 touchdowns or more.
Jameis had a big game.
Threw for 5.
He threw for 5.
You know who also threw for at least 3 touchdowns?
Who else?
Jared Goff.
Listen, this is what you told me. You told me prevent defense is terrible. It leads to nothing good. They played soft coverage all in the second half, but that game was over. Jared Goff. Those are all the empty stats that people said Matthew Stafford had in Detroit, and now they're witnessing the fact that the Lions stink. Like, they completely stink. Like, Preston texted me during the game, and he's just like, oh, wow.
That was as soon as they went on the huge run, actually. As soon as I texted you, they scored 3 times in a row.
Listen, I would like to come to everybody out there in the internet world and discuss. I am a disciple of our quarterback and savior, Jonathan Matthew Stafford. We'll be taking calls, 661-515-BETS. Ty's on his. He's going to get answered in a second when I get over there.
He gave up.
Yeah, we'll be taking calls. If you would like to talk to me about how great Matthew Stafford played last night, please don't be afraid to deviate from the norm, and we can have a discussion. We can take this show over, and it could be all. I have hours and hours and hours of Matthew Stafford content.
You know what you sound like right now?
You
sound like every first-time bettor reacting to 1 week. The first bet Qwan's ever made.
Yes,
Matthew Stafford to an MVP. He has one primetime game against the Bears last night. First time in McVay's offense.
It looked great.
And Qwan just cannot get enough Stafford now. I'm fairly certain. I actually like the Colts +4. Remember, Whale Capper, Drew Tingzik, in here, he said, I just hope the Rams blow him out and the Seattle Seahawks just crush the Colts week 1. And he wanted to fade the Rams week 2. And here we are, instead of probably a line that would have been more like 2.5, 3, getting 4. There was even some 4.5s last night, a few spots. Look, it's overreaction Monday. Do whatever you need to do, Qwan. But I guarantee the sentiment will be different for this first-time bettor.
No way.
A few weeks, yeah.
I will discuss my other bets. We launched the Qwan Show on Bets TV on Sunday.
That didn't go well.
It didn't go well at all. Not one. Now,
I tried to do Qwan fades on Last Word Cheetah. Instead, you're doing it as your own show. Everyone just bet against him.
And it's still terrible. I mean, it wasn't bad. One thing that I know.
Right?
Huh?
0-3, you said?
0-3, yeah. One thing I know is that my layout, my sequence for my bet, it needs some reworking. I did 2. First of all, nobody told me that you can't do a 16-leg parlay, and it's probably not ideal. So I had to learn
an 8-teamer in there or something.
Yeah, I had an 8-teamer and a 7-teamer, and then I did a small bet trying to make some money. But I think I went 8-6 on my money line pick'ems.
Yeah, that's not great.
That's not great.
A lot of them you have to lay juice.
Yeah. So, episode 2 of the Qwan Show, there'll be some reworking, but I'm really excited about the first bet. I'll be talking more Matthew Stafford propaganda on the Qwan Show episode 2, but I really think now everybody's seen me in the seat. They're excited about Matthew Stafford just as much as I am. So I think we should get back to Last Word Cheetah.
So real quick, other than Ty, who called in before the show even started, who would you think is the first person to call after they see you? Yeah,
Tone.
Yeah, he's ringing right now. I'm not dropping his call.
Like,
I don't know how to answer it, though.
Nothing but curse words.
Here and answer it. We can talk to Tone.
Yeah, I'm gonna put this graphic up real quick so we could switch.
You didn't want people to see my butt?
No.
Shifted and slided through
the
camera?
I don't think anybody wants to see that.
All right. He's short. I'm going to raise this thing up. Gave him his 5 minutes of fame for his Matthew Stafford. He threw for 3 TDs. He's going to win the MVP. So did Jared Goff and 9 other players, and probably at least one more tonight. That's where Qwan's at as a first-time bettor. Firing on a 16-1 shot. Look, I don't like the Colts. Just put them right through. Let's hear what's going on, Tone. How are you feeling? How was your weekend?
Oh, I had a great weekend. I was just seeing if you got your first 10 at booze or drugs. I saw you behind the thing, Qwan at the desk. I didn't know if you found a new hobby over the weekend or something. How was your weekend?
Honestly, it was so 500 like across the board that I probably did need something extra. NFL was good, but Saturday, yeah, I think my pick every side went like 21 and 21. The stuff I gave out during the week went 10 and 9. Like it was basically a break-even week. So yeah, next time that happens, I need drugs.
Okay, yeah, cool.
Let me know.
Qwan's got you there. He's plugged in.
Actually, he does.
Yeah. But you forgot about one thing on Sunday. Are you still feeling quite good about the Falcons' future here?
Well, if you want to see my little rundown here, reactions, open up the phone lines. Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. Falcons, question mark, question mark, question mark. I'm reading off of my notes.
Good.
Yep. So here's the thing. Go ahead. I'll let you talk it through first.
No, I was gonna say it's similar to you liking the Reds every year. You just have to like the Falcons. You know, the numbers tell you that, and then you come back to life after about a week or two.
Yeah. So here's what happened. That exact thought process near that end of the third quarter when it was gone. It was just like, how does this happen? Every season I talk myself into the Falcons' futures in some form or fashion, and like within less than one game, they just shit all over it. Now, here's the thing. At first, I was like, I'm just going to make fun of myself. But I also, look, the Titans looked awful without Arthur Smith. Maybe the Falcons can figure something out. Also, the way to double down here, I realized this as I was driving into the studio. What if the Eagles are just elite?
No.
What if the Falcons are still good and the Eagles win the NFC East? You can still get plus 350 on them to win the division. Hurts is like an elite QB now. He's got all of his weapons with Smith and Rieger making plays. Miles Sanders, even Gainwell, this mix-up second running back off the bench. Look, maybe the Eagles are just the best team in the NFC now. Double down.
I'm an Eagles fan. The Eagles are my team. It's not the case. I mean, I have a hard time believing one cool, first game. You looked all right, but I just don't think I have no faith in Jalen Hurts as a passer. And then when it comes to that defense, good line, but that secondary, it'll be interesting. But I think the Birds, they're somewhere right around their win total, 6-7 wins.
That total shot up a ton from yesterday. I believe the first opener was like 46.5, and then it was sitting 48 for a while. Now it's 50.5, 50. So if you're right about the secondary, but maybe the offense is still good. And what happened to the 49ers defense against the Lions? I don't know. The over kind of made some sense, but maybe it's too reactionary.
Did Aaron Rodgers just not try so he can get an in-season trade? That's what it looked like. Pick he threw when there was that.
The safety in the middle?
Literally cover one safety deep middle of the field, and he just threw the ball right to him. That play was incredible. I had the Saints, so I was loving every second of it, but he couldn't have looked less interested.
The smile laughter got me.
So here's the thing. Why even play at all if his whole thing was, I'm not going to play if you don't trade me? He could have just gone with it.
For Randall Cobb, and Randall Cobb got 1 catch and 1 carry. It was like the weirdest thing. I don't know. This whole Rodgers shtick, he's like looking like Steven Seagal. I don't know what the fuck he's doing. It's honestly ridiculous. I'm a Rodgers fan, but I don't know what the hell he's doing. I think he likes doing this. Like, they got blown out by the Bucks, and then he came back and did his shtick. I think he likes a good blowout.
So how many points do you need with the Lions to bet against Rodgers in Week 2 on Monday night?
Oh no, at least 21. At least.
All right. I'll take the plus 20.5.
Of course you would. I don't know that. Yeah. That was interesting for sure. But the Falcons,
you have an early look Week 2 NFL or Week 3 college that you want to give us while you're on?
No, not really. I was disappointed in that Jets football team. I knew they'd stink, but that was pathetic.
Yeah, Wilson, I almost thought I should probably switch the helmet around so it doesn't have the Zach Wilson autograph here on the front of the desk. If he does one more of those, they play the Patriots, right? Yeah. I mean, it's not going to be a really easy time for him. We'll see. This could be bad, though. I might have to remove the helmet.
Oh, and Saturday, you got so lucky Anthony Richardson pulled that hammy or got that cramp because USF was not covering.
Well, they were never not covering the entire game. They were pushing 29 at one point. But
I thought you had. Yeah, they're up 29.
Yeah, so worst case was a push, but yeah, Rich, what's your thoughts on Alabama then, real quick? Because I actually think the line will probably go up, but I don't necessarily think it's wrong. I think the total of 57 is a little low, though. They average like over 10 yards per play against South Florida.
I just hate Emory Jones a lot, and I literally hate him, and Mullen's not going to give up on him yet because that's been his baby. That was his first big-time quarterback recruit, so I don't think he's just going to, bench him after 2 weeks. But I don't know. To me, Bama, if you want to just be a team that runs the ball, they're not going to be able to be explosive down the field with Emory Jones, so they just put you in a bubble, and I don't expect a lot because Florida hasn't been able to revamp that defense the last 2 years. So, I mean, I think the number's probably fair, but I could see them taking it to Florida.
Just a boat race. All right. Tone, we appreciate the love, the call. We got to get to a few more that are on hold.
Let me get a pick.
We'll pick one. I asked you earlier. Go.
The baseball is brutal.
That's why I went straight to football.
God. All right.
There's like 7 games that haven't gone off.
I know. I was honestly about to call in some soccer, but honestly, give me the Ravens. All this chat, people want the Raiders money line. Nope. Give me the Ravens -4.
You can take 3.5 now. I like 4, but there are some 3.5s. So lay to 3.5.
Give it to me.
All right.
Yeah.
Good luck. We'll talk to you later. All right. Who's up next? Who we got?
We got Ty.
Ty. Sorry, I didn't know how to answer the line, man. I was sitting in Quan's chair for the intro. But you are on now. What's up? How was your weekend?
What's up, man? It was good. Good to see a lot of college football. Love seeing Djokovic lose in the U.S. Open final.
So I had a friend, I was telling Quan right before this started, that bet Medvedev, I believe was his name, to win in straight sets to win $300,000, and it hit. I don't know how he knew, but easy game. He just popped it, no problem. Like 20-1, I think, was the actual payout.
That's awesome. Good for him.
It was.
Hey,
what do you got?
So, couple questions for you about some college football openers. I wanted your opinion. As I know there's probably people on the line, but I'm a Penn State fan, and I feel like laying 6 or 6.5 is way too many points against Auburn.
That depends. I'm pretty bearish on Auburn's team in general, and they've played 2 like cupcakes so far. FCS game, they've won by a bunch. I think based on priors from the last 5 years, for sure. But I actually think this should be closer to 7 personally. I think Penn State's quite a bit better, and I am just betting on the Auburn bearishness before the season. So if there's a spot I think that you will get to fade Penn State, it'll be like the -5.5, -6. But Penn State's not like elite or anything either, so it seems like a little dangerous. But I'm sure Auburn will be a super popular underdog. So I kind of like the other side.
Yeah. Okay. And then my other question was what your thoughts are on the Arizona State opener of 2 or 2.5 against BYU. I kind of liked Arizona State, but I wondered what your opinion was, knowing BYU the way you do.
Well, for one, I was absolutely shocked how well BYU played. I mean, it's the first time they beat Utah since 2009, so shout out to them. But like Utah played terribly on top of it. I don't know what to expect because Arizona, who BYU didn't even really beat very well, just lose by like 35 at home to San Diego State. And so I don't know, like the weirdness of those first 2 weeks for BYU plus even Utah to some degree. I'm not going to put a ton of stock into it. Before the season, I was against BYU under 7.5 wins. Look, the number's 3.5 now across the board. So ASU was the right side. Probably the whole super flat spot off the big win. There won't be a bigger one to fade BYU this season. They really haven't beat Utah in the rivalry game for 12 years. So, yeah, ASU was the side. They're the most talented probably of the bunch that they've played so far. And Provo or not, I think ASU was good if you snag 2 or 2.5.
Awesome, thanks. Can I put something in for Saturday then now?
Yep, go for it.
What's the best number that you're seeing on the Virginia UNC total? I want to go over.
64.
Yeah, I'll take the over there. I just think UNC is going to come out firing after the loss to Tech, and I liked what I saw from the Virginia offense when they, gave it to Illinois pretty well. So that's what I'm going with. Lock that in for Saturday.
All right, we'll put it in. Yeah, Armstrong's looked fantastic. He just crushed the Illinois defense. And we'll see. UNC was fine against Georgia State Saturday.
Yeah, did everyone who had Ohio State team total in the betting contest, is that one win and they're alive going into today, or what's the deal with that?
Iowa State had like 30-something after 3 quarters. So that there's only one person.
Oh, okay.
That. Yep. So C was the correct.
Sounds good. I thought it was halftime. That's why I was wondering.
No, it was 3 quarters.
Sounds good. All right. Thanks, man. Have a good one.
Yep. Take care. All right. Who we got up next, Qwan? All right. Andrew, welcome to Last Word Cheetah. How are you doing? How was your weekend?
I'm doing good, man. How are you guys doing?
Doing well. We're doing well. By the way, update for you. I'm not sure if Qwan has a graphic up for the leaderboard. He's working on it. We'll post it here during the show. But you're in second right now. Christian passed you up, and he's up about 0.8 units on where you're at. So you're in range. About midway through the month almost. So feel free to look ahead. Saturday, week 3 college, week 2 NFL, whatever you want to hit.
Okay. Yeah, I had a rough week and I pushed on that Reds team total, and then Miami never got there. I think kind of sluggish the whole game versus App State. But for tonight, I'm looking at the road favorites in the Boston Red Sox. I like the pitching matchup. Got Eduardo Rodriguez, who I expect to progress more towards his advanced statistics. Because he's been pitching better, getting a little bit of bad luck. Then Seattle has Logan Gilbert taking him out, one of their top prospects. He's had he had a great start, and then it's been pretty bad recently. I think he's been one of the worst 10 pitchers consistently starting right now. So I'm looking at the Red Sox money line.
All right, 116 minus 116 is the best price I can give you on that. One thing I wanted to double check, just in regards to the Mariners, they've been winning games still to this point. I'm not sure how they're 77 and 66 with a minus 60 run differential, but they are. But they did lose their last 2, I think, over the weekend, so they're falling out of that potential playoff wildcard spot. Keep fading them. I think in general they were a team that was overvalued for the last month and a half. So minus 116, we'll lock you in. Good luck tonight.
For sure, man. Thank you.
Who's up next? Who do we got? Nick from Iowa. Welcome to the show again, bud. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Had a pretty good weekend overall for betting purposes, and
Nice.
so doing good. How about you?
Same. Hanging in there. It's Monday, but excited for week 3 college football now, week 2 NFL. What do you got for us? What are you looking at?
For sure. Yeah, I made several plays on openers yesterday, and almost all the numbers are gone, which is, I guess, a good sign. But
That's what usually happens.
I guess the one that I would still bet right now. I like Liberty right now. So what's the best one? Because that literally just got more steam in the last hour or so. So what's the best we can do on Liberty?
Yeah, I know a few people that bet this. I was about fair. I didn't look at it, but you can still get 27.5, so you can get below the 4 TDs. But there's some 28s as well.
Yeah, we can still do the 27.5. That's fine. This one was just interesting to me because Wake Forest was favored by 32 over Old Dominion. I've seen no real reason to upgrade or downgrade Wake Forest or Old Dominion or even Liberty for that matter. I haven't changed anything much there. So, and I have Liberty and Wake Forest about the same. So I'm just I'll roll with the 27.5.
All right. You have me intrigued now. Where we differentiate? I probably am higher on Wake Forest is my guess. But I don't have my tab of numbers in front of me. So just bear with me for 10 more seconds.
Sure. And I'll just throw this in here quickly because I saw actually your buddy Colin Wilson over at Action. He has this projected at 34 or something like that also. So that kind of gave me a little bit of an extra thinking to lay it with Liberty.
Yeah. I have Liberty quite a few spots below Wake, so that's the difference there. But I also, not that many spots. Yeah, maybe I'm just too high on Old Dominion ultimately. Now that I'm looking at it, we'll see. We'll find out.
I guess part of the I had Old Dominion pretty low, and it's just because I mean we're seeing it with UConn. The Old Dominion's just they had lost so many guys off their 2019 team, didn't play last year, so maybe I'm just really low on Old Dominion. So maybe that's just it, but.
It could, it's just fade UConn. It just works. Maybe Old Dominion ends up falling into the same tier or basket. It just sometimes the numbers get out of control, but it doesn't matter. They just are not covering regardless.
Yeah.
Cool. We'll lock you in for 27.5.
All right. Sounds good, Preston. Have a good one, guys.
Yeah, you too. Take care. What's up, Ken? How are you doing?
All right. How are you doing, Preston?
I'm doing well. How was your weekend?
Right now, it was good. I had a really good weekend, actually.
Nice.
And there's only 2 more leagues, and we're first one to every sport's my best one, and then I kind of just move on to the next sport.
Yeah.
But yeah, really good NFL yesterday. I went 4-0 and had a really good college as well. So.
Sweet. Good to hear. Hey, what do you like? You looking week 3 college this week?
Yeah, your last caller, I was looking at, I had the Dominion game at 25.5, and I was thinking, am I high on Dominion? And I'm actually high on Dominion, too. They just beat Hampton, so, I think I have that one. They should be good. Anyways, so for today, I'm going to take the number that's top way out of my range, which is, I know I lost on Buffalo this week against the Nebraska pick. But I'm going to come back with it. I just looked at for 13. I don't see any reason. It's way out of my range, and right now it's the best number on the board I can get.
You're liking the Buffalo side again, just to confirm.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm a glutton for punishment. But
it just moved up to 13.5. You can get now, plus 13.5.
Okay, yeah.
I know someone that laid it at 11 earlier this morning. So, and I know it opened at 10. It was even lower. I'm pretty sure I'm closer to where it opened, 10 or 11 range. If it really got to 14.5, I would have to look to the Buffalo side. But I also faded Buffalo last week. So I don't know. There were some differentiating opinions on that game. And it also was a lot closer than 28-3. I don't know. I think Nebraska probably covers regardless. But the ending, they got another touchdown that was pretty fluky.
It was close for a while. I actually thought we'd hit the 14. Both of us hit it, but it didn't work.
Yeah, we had a chance.
So that was one of my losers. But it was good to see the UMass game. I thought was way overvalued, and it turned out it was. I was the Bowling Green one. Was it Bowling Green? Or no, USF one.
Yeah.
Both of those were really nice wins.
Cool, man. We'll lock you in. Ugly, but plus 13.5 on Buffalo.
Yep. Thank you. Bye.
Yep. Take it easy. Jim, welcome to Last Word Cheetah, man. You're on now. How are you doing?
Hey, what's going on? Hey, I got to give you credit. I hit a nice chunk on that Boise over, so I just want to give you props for that on Friday.
Yep. I wish they were all that easy, man. That one was just a breeze by basically halftime.
Yeah, I
needed,
know.
what,
That's
2
the
more
one where
scores.
you look like a genius, you know?
Yeah, it's nice when that happens, but it doesn't usually happen that way. I don't think there was anything Saturday that was that simple. So it was good for a Friday night. Like, no sweat. Didn't have to even pay attention, really. What do you like? You looking at college football this week?
Yeah, I mean, real quick, my weekend, I had Oregon. I sold a lot of points on that. I took all that plus 7.5, plus 10.5, and chickened down the money line like usual.
Why did you like Oregon so much? I'm curious. I didn't hear like a single person, myself included, even give Oregon a chance, really.
I kind of thought Fresno State was just really good, and I think that quarterback kind of showed how good he was last week. They crushed.
I
didn't see much from C.J. Stroud against Minnesota. I just thought that was more of a product of them just being so much better, bigger, faster, stronger than C.J. Stroud actually being good. I thought his numbers were a little bloated. So
he
thought
missed
that
probably
the line,
4 or 5 touchdowns, long or high, in that Oregon game. Like, there's obviously a world where, I mean, even the one late to tie the game, he's just all alone and he overthrows him. I mean, then it's tied, maybe goes to overtime. Also would have gone over 63.5. Unfortunately, landed 63. But I was very disappointed in Stroud. Like, major decrease for me in my numbers in Ohio State going forward. He absolutely can prove me wrong or us wrong. But I think we were all overvaluing the Buckeyes and assuming Stroud was just going to be as good as Justin Fields or whoever else, had kind of gone and played prior to him.
Yeah, and I think they kind of, once Thibodeau injury, I think they overvalued that, like, especially in college.
Yeah.
Like, as great as he is, I mean, in college, he's not, much of a game wrecker. Like, I don't think he gets that much of an opportunity to impact the game as much as the NFL.
You're doubling him a lot anyways, probably, and now you don't have to double anyone. They couldn't run the ball. It was interesting. In general, the Buckeyes just had trouble getting the run game going, and then Stroud was missing the passes. So how are you going to keep up? Yeah, nice plays there. Yeah. Did you pick one yet for this week? Now that we got into the groove with the call, did you make a pick? I can't remember.
Oh no.
Okay, go ahead.
So I'm going to take the game tonight. I love the under. With all the injuries, I think the Raiders' defense is going to be better.
I hope so.
Secondary is always good for the Ravens, and the Raiders have nobody to throw to but Waller. And the Raiders also have a new, probably worse offensive line. So I don't think anybody's going to score. I think it's so high.
Beautiful. We can give you 50.5. We'll lock you in for the under tonight. Good luck.
All right, sounds good.
You got Matthew Stafford up next. Did you get him to call in?
Not yet. That's the goal.
Okay. Who is next? We have someone.
Patrick's at the airport after in Vegas.
All right. Is anyone waiting on him?
No, he said he has an hour and a half. He doesn't have to get on the flight, anything. He's got like an hour and a half.
I meant like callers. I don't care if Patrick has to wait, but I want to hear a Vegas story.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
You want to put him for
All right, Patrick, how are you doing? Where are you at other than the airport with like life? Like how were the last few days?
Well, I had the shakes all day Sunday, which was not a good thing. After my Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday night. So, but I'm surviving now. Surviving now.
You sound like you're okay. You're in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, I hardly drank anything at all yesterday. I was at the Bellagio. I had the reserve couch or whatever to watch all the games, and I couldn't even drink anything. I mean, I was just
focused on the football.
I had to detox for like the last 3 days. Yeah.
Got it.
And that was a little disappointing too. Man, I tell you what, that Cardinals-Titans game, how that did not go over the total. They had 51 points with like 18 minutes left in that game.
Qwan marked it as a W before the show, and I said, guess what? It didn't go over.
Shit,
he didn't even know it didn't.
No.
I was like, yeah, the last 19 minutes there was 0. And you got 52, I believe, too.
Yeah.
So you were in a good number. Sitting 51. Yeah, that was brutal.
But I was banty. But yeah, it was great though, because I got to hang out with Drew and Andy Friday night at the BetSports event. That was fun meeting those guys. From what I can remember. But yeah, it was a good time.
I'll ask them how they
I had some
thought
good-
you were.
Yeah, that'll be a train wreck. Oh no, I think I was fairly lucid for that.
That's good.
Fairly. But yeah, it's a good trip. Good trip.
So tell us, I know you're into digging in pretty early in the week. You were doing it with preseason over the summer, week 1. Is there an NFL week 2 you're already eyeing to lock in today?
You know what? I haven't had a chance to do anything
Okay.
on NFL week 2. So I'm sure I missed a bunch of I'm sure I missed a bunch. Well, I know I missed a bunch of the openers, which sucks, but I was just in no shape to
Vegas.
do it. So, but yeah, exactly. But I do like Darren Waller props tonight over receiving yards.
Ooh.
And I will slightly disagree with the last caller. Ravens, their linebacking core, they cannot cover. I mean, Patrick Queen is like the worst cover linebacker in the league. And with
It's been
Marcus
like that
Peters
for
being out as
last
well.
couple years for him, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and who else is Derek Carr going to throw to? I mean, I think hopefully the game state is such that the Raiders will have to be in comeback mode, and I think he's going to rack up the yards. So I saw it at 60. Is either 68 or 69? I don't remember. But I'll take the
69 and a
over on
half. 69 and a half. So you win on 70
Yeah.
plus.
Yeah, I'll do that.
All right. Easy enough. We'll lock you in. Safe flight. We'll talk to you
All right.
tomorrow. Take care.
Bye, boys.
2 things. One, glad he survived. He seems like he's in good shape. Also kind of disappointed he's not in worse shape for the sake of the content.
That was really tame. I thought
He was probably not lying. He just yesterday he couldn't drink anymore. He took a day, watched the games, focused, game film,
gotta
study.
rally, man.
All right, Carlos is on. Carlos, how was your weekend, man? Welcome to Last Word Cheetah.
What's going on, guys? It was bittersweet. I won a ton of money on Pittsburgh and the Eagles. I had Pittsburgh Friday plus 6.5. They got the job done, but I lost my quarterback. And I don't know what my team is going to do without Fitzmagic. But we want to move on and see what we do.
I like Heineke, man.
Heineke was all right. I mean, he had a nice
I liked
drive.
him in the playoff game last year against the Bucks.
Fitzpatrick's on like the IR for a while, right? It's a hip thing, and they haven't said he's out for a certain amount of time. But actually, I could just look it up. Maybe they bring in Rivera, Cam Newton.
I saw a couple of.
Did you? Oh, okay. I imagine all the media's running with that. Yeah, but I just clicked like they need a QB. So yeah, I don't know if Heineke's the guy really,
QB.
but. Look, I'll say
and we got a short week coming up, so yeah, we'll see what happens.
I was surprised a little bit. Let me find the current number. So if this gets to 3 at home against the Giants, man, I wish it wasn't Heineke either, but I think it's a little low. I have this closer to like a 4.5 if I remember my numbers when I was going through them last night. Again, what's the drop-off from Fitzpatrick to Heineke really worth? It could be that 3 is where this ends up settling, but I kind of lean the Washington side. No confidence at all on a short week with the Giants going in against the Washington defense. So maybe it's just an ugly game. Bet the under 41. 41 and a halves. There's still a couple of those left. But, yeah, we'll see. I wouldn't totally discount your season yet, Carlos, over there in Washington.
No, thank you. I hope not. Let me ask you about betting extraordinaire.
You're the only one playing. Your day 2. Our show will be like 10 minutes long probably, but you have a chance to make history in about 30 minutes.
Wow.
You want me to give you the question in advance so you can kind of put some notes together? Okay. It's going to be really straightforward. We have the Monday Night Football game. It's Ravens-Raiders. You need to just tell me a winner, either side or either total. 3.5 now is the number, most spots, and 50.5 is the total. So you just got to pick a winner. You'll be on for day 3 tomorrow if you can do that.
You got it, man. Go do some research.
I want to see if I have time to do research. I'm in the bathroom at work.
You have 30 minutes.
You're in the bathroom at work. That's like the best place to do research.
If you got to go again in half an hour, it's one of those lunches.
Hey, man, take a 2-hour lunch break.
Yes.
You want to lock in something for today, quick too, before we let you go?
I want the Yankees whatever it is, against Minnesota tonight?
It's minus 800, Carlos. You want the Yankees?
Okay. I want the Yankees.
I should just give it to them. You know why? They're down 5-2 in the bottom of the eighth.
Are you serious? I didn't see.
Yeah, you saved the win. You saved 1.7 units because they were like minus 170. So you get another shot.
I have no idea. I didn't look at.
Yeah, it was an early start.
I looked at nothing today. You know what? How about I skip a day? I don't even know where I'm at on the leaderboard.
Here's what I'll do. If you end up digging into betting extraordinaire for the Monday Night Football game and you like it enough, I'll give it to you for today for the September prize pool too.
Okay, cool.
Cool. So dig in. You got about half an hour. See if you can find a W, and we'll talk later.
All right. Thanks, bye.
All right. Take it easy. All right. Who's up next? What's up, Tom? How was your weekend?
Oh, it was all right. I got a little greedy yesterday and bit me in the ass.
Oh, what did you hated your Atlanta Falcons there locally? I'm guessing you had the Eagles at least, right?
Yeah, I had them. I got a little greedy in the 4 o'clock game, so I tried to play Cleveland and New Orleans money line, parlayed them.
Yeah, that was. I mean, you were in great shape for most of the game, anyways. The Browns were up 12 in the fourth, I think, at the start of the fourth. So yeah, you probably should have won that, but Mahomes is a wizard, and the Browns are the Browns. And if you factor that in,
Browns. Hunter can't even catch the snap to punt the ball.
That was pretty bad.
Man.
Like they look, the Browns didn't punt all game. They tried once, and he just dropped it right in his hands. But that's how good they were offensively. They didn't punt, and he forgot how to catch the snap because he wasn't punting until early fourth quarter. Look, they played fantastically. I wouldn't, if you're a Cleveland fan or just a bettor in general, look, they're going to grade out really strong with that performance and definitely looking up going forward. I thought it was interesting, again, with the Raiders kind of moving from 4.5 to 4, now to 3.5 for tonight's game. KC moved from 2.5 to 3 a couple hours ago in Baltimore for week 2 before Baltimore plays tonight. So people trying to get out ahead of maybe a KC bounce back in Baltimore, maybe looking pretty bad tonight against the Raiders. So, Tom, you look at NFL already week 2? You going to go baseball or are you going to go college football week 3?
Well, I want to say one thing. At least I was watching the game with my mother last night, so that did keep the blood pressure down, and that kept me from busting the remote, the TV, and all.
Okay, that helps for sure.
I'm gonna go with the super lock friend. 143, Alabama, first half.
Ooh, are their first halves up already? I can double check for you, but let me just see. Yeah, it looks like one spot has it. Minus 7.5. Does that work? It's about right. They're 14.5, 15 for the game. Did I just cut out? I don't know.
I'm here.
Cut out. Maybe everyone cut out. All right, I heard you. But yeah, minus 7.5. Alabama in Florida, first half. We'll lock it in for you.
All right, brother. Peace.
All right, man. Take care. We still had one more caller, I think you said. And now we're at 3. All right, we might have to lock it up after these 3 so I can get to my week 3 college football sides, go down the board. Who's up next?
We got your friend, Jake from Vegas.
Jake from Vegas.
Yeah, he said he knows you.
He might. Is it the Jake?
He's on.
I know a few Jakes. I know at least 2 from Vegas, but there was one I was talking to with.
It's Jake. It's Jake the Mush.
I recognize his voice. What's up, man? Thanks for calling. How are you doing?
Good, man. Just a busy day, but I just wanted to pop in here and continue with the sports betting talk. You know, it was a fun weekend, and first-time caller.
You are a first-time caller. For those listening, he wasn't lying at the beginning. Whatever he says definitely would look the other way. If it moves his way, doesn't matter. Just double down later, and you're probably going to be in good shape. So, with that being said, I'm not sure. I don't think, Jake, you don't originate too much of your own stuff, but if you have something, either the Monday Night Football game tonight or for week 3 college, week 2, whatever, you can throw one in there if you'd like. We track it, and you have a chance to win some cash at the end of the month.
Sounds good. Yeah, it was a crazy weekend. Went into Sunday down like multiple 5 figures, and left today up 5 figures, so that's a good Sunday.
So what was the
Chiefs,
outside
pulled it out.
teasing Rice? What was the other thing you learned the most from this weekend?
I learned that my theory that I came up with 2 years ago, because I'm a big live bettor. I tell you I bet a lot of stuff live, but that's really where I find most of my edge. And just taking the Chiefs money line live just rarely lets me down. I had a lot of money on the Chiefs when they went down. I think it was 10 or 11.
It was 12, I think. Yeah, 22-10.
12, yeah. They pulled it out. It's, some good fortune there, but maybe I deserved it after Ohio State not going over.
Oh,
and yeah. I mean,
yeah, that was frustrating.
There were a few games, both college and NFL, like I think a caller mentioned earlier about the Arizona game. I mean, dude, whoever had over in the Titans game, that's one of the worst losses probably of the whole season.
Yeah, it was over 18 minutes of 0. And the Cardinals obviously took their foot off the pedal, but the fact that the Titans just couldn't score on the Cardinals, like one of the better offenses of the NFL the last few years, that's a little worrisome. I don't know what to make of it. Again, it's only the first week. You never want to overreact, but that is one thing to know. Maybe the Tennessee Titans just stink now with Arthur Smith gone and in Atlanta. But then you look at the Atlanta score, and they couldn't score a touchdown the whole game against the Eagles. So it's confusing. I'm intrigued to see where this all goes.
For sure. As far as this week, looking forward, there were two games that I liked. I told you that I thought Bama was short.
Yeah.
I think that line should be closer to 20. One of the other callers also had mentioned that Florida scoring, and that's kind of the same line that I see just from the eye test at least.
Yeah, the total moved up too a little bit. It's up to 58 and a half. There's a 59. So I think in general we're kind of on the right track when we talked about it.
Yeah, I think Bama first half or full game is probably good. I probably lean first half. I mean, you got to expect them to put up at least 21 to 28 points in the first half, and I don't really see Florida scoring more than maybe 10. So I don't know. That's just kind of how my brain works on that. And then the other game that was interesting, this will probably be a dead shot under, but Baylor and Kansas over. I believe the number
Kansas,
is 49.
it's because you watched that Kansas Coastal game, I know, because you were messaging me a little bit. Look, Kansas loses by 27. The spread was 26.5 for the most part. Qwan's looking at me. Look, we needed the 26.5. Kansas missed 2 PATs. They were 0 for 5 on 4th down, and Coastal Carolina blocked a punt for a touchdown, and they still should have covered, right? They were right on the number. You couldn't cover 26.5. They had almost as many yards as Coastal Carolina. You might be right. Kansas should be able to move it to some degree on Baylor. It's moved down from opener.
And by the way, I had 27.5.
Yeah, for some reason you were buying points on 27, and it actually worked out. The gambling gods forgot you bought a point there, and you actually won.
I think Penny had a 27.5, and it was like minus 114. So I was like,
yeah, that's probably worth it versus a 26.5 for sure. Yeah.
Right. So I was just like, fuck it, and you only pay juice if you lose, right? So
that's what they say. Yeah.
And but yeah, I'm gonna go with, since I'm gonna already bet Alabama, I'm gonna go with Baylor Kansas best number over that you can find. I think Kansas can put some points on the board, and I think you might see 1 or 2 defensive touchdowns in this game. I don't know. I just feel like it goes over 48.5, 49, wherever it's in that.
49.5 is basically best price now that I see on my screen. So I'll lock you in for that. Not a huge difference between 49 and 49.
You're shorting me. You're shorting me a half point.
Where's 49
I'm staring at bookmaker, at Chris.
Oh, Chris isn't on the screen because Don Best is weird now with Chris. So if you're looking at Chris, the site, I'll trust you. 49 is fine. I'll give you 49.
Sweet. The other quick thing I want to say is the Browns are absolutely legit, and I will be very, very. And I was very high on them coming into the season, and I'm even higher on them now. They are as good as I thought they would be, and they should have won that game.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm not sure if you heard it because you were on hold, but I just kind of said, look, they didn't punt the entire game. They tried once, and the guy dropped it. They still lost, but it's because it's the Mahomes Chiefs wizardry. But the Browns are good. Definitely positive vibes, I think, going forward if you're a Cleveland fan.
Yeah, and, me as a Giants and a Yankee fan, things are not looking good right now.
No.
The Yankees are in complete collapse, and the Giants are the Giants. You can draft Justin Fields, or you can just let your next 5 to 10 years ride with Danny Dimes, I guess. Whatever, I don't know. It's crazy.
I'm not sure they can go more than one more year with Danny Dimes if it's as bad as the last one or as yesterday. We'll see, but he's probably like a perennial backup, in a year or two when it's all said and done. I got to let you go, Jake. Appreciate you calling in.
All right.
Feel free to call in later this week, too, if you have any more losers for us.
Sounds good.
Later. Who's up next?
We got Joey from Jersey.
Joey, what's up, man? Thanks for holding. Appreciate you calling in. How was your weekend?
It was good. How you doing?
I'm doing well. What do you like this week? You looking college, NFL,
right.
Baseball?
Well, I got a college game and an NFL game. I want to hear your thoughts. So what are you thinking about Buffalo -3 against Miami and Marshall -9.5 against ECU?
I'm opposite you on Marshall. I was actually going to get into that later. I can get into it now. I'm not sure if you saw what Marshall did week 1 against Ohio football. They crushed them, right? Or Syracuse, sorry, not Marshall. Syracuse beats them 29-9. And then there was a combination thing with Duquesne beating Ohio on the road, and then Duquesne and Marshall, some sort of transitive property where I'm not sure that Marshall is as good. They beat NC Central like 44-10. Then they beat Navy, who's 49-7 to Navy, couldn't even score on Air Force. And so now, running that all back to ECU, I'm not 100% sure you can lay nearly double digits with Marshall. I think ECU is pretty good. They hung with App State, who hung with Miami, played really well, had a chance to beat Miami. And then to South Carolina, they should have probably won that game. They end up losing at the buzzer and a field goal. So my numbers had it closer to 7. I think +9.5, 9 is actually an okay bet. So that being said, sorry, I got a little confused with Duquesne for some reason in Ohio for a second. But you mentioned, what was the other game you said?
Buffalo Bills versus Miami.
That was 3.5 last night, and I was hoping it would come down to 3. I think that's a good buy. I think what we saw from the Bills yesterday isn't what we're going to see from the Bills, obviously, the rest of the year. And I still am somewhat like Miami just finds ways to win. Like it happened all last year, and then sure enough, they're about to lose to the Patriots, and Harris just fumbles the ball right to him. And there was another fumble earlier in the game, and the Pats never turn it over. They never fumble. So they were kind of gifted that W. I think it's a good kind of sell high spot on Miami, even aside from the Buffalo stuff. And now that it's 3 flat, I think it's an okay bet. I like that one, actually.
Yeah, I agree. So lock me in for that Bills -3.
Okay. We will do that, man. Good luck, and we'll talk to you later on.
All right. Thank you. Take care.
Matthew from Florida. What's up, man? Welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. What do you got for us? You looking college football week 3, NFL week 2, baseball? What do you like?
So I like one play tonight in the MLB. I like St. Louis Cardinals money line with Wainwright going for them. I don't know. Wainwright's been really good, and they've been pretty good with him on the bump.
Okay. Going up against Rich Hill on the road. I can give you -105 on that, just by the way. I was looking for the price, -105.
Yeah, just money line, that'd be great. And then more looking towards the end of the week, I think Michigan State going down to Miami is definitely live to win that game. But taking, I think 6.5 was the number I saw. That's pretty good. I think that's pretty good value for them, coming off 2 pretty good wins. They've been putting up points. And then Miami, after a pretty rough start against Alabama, obviously, squeaking out that win last week against App State.
So Here's for the show. You call in once a day. You can lock in one play day. So I'll lock in the Cardinals, and then if you call back at some point this week, Tuesday through Friday, you can lock in the Michigan State bet as well for one of those days. So no rush on that one. I'll lock you in for Cardinals now, and I'm going to talk about that game in just a bit, actually. So if you're tuning in, I'll break it down.
Yeah, I'll be watching for sure.
Cool, man. Appreciate the call. Good luck, and we'll talk to you later.
All right. Thanks, you too. See you.
We get one more. All right. We'll just take calls. Let's just run the calls. Technically, we're not on a set schedule to a T, so it's all good. Who's up next? All right, Andre. Welcome. How's your weekend, man? How are you doing?
It's a good weekend. Obviously, tons of football action. I have to defer to you guys on that. I have to defer to the experts in terms of breaking it down and getting to week 2. For today, the Las Vegas Raiders are home. They're going to handle business.
Nice.
I think people, new season, new environment, place is going to be jumping. All due respect to the Ravens. Okay, Lamar's playing for the contract. They have the experience. That's all good and well. But after what we saw yesterday, how the Texans handle business, smacked Urban Meyer around, made him, get his mind right. And then, of course, what happened with the Saints, okay, putting respect on Jameis and Sean Payton's name. We had some turnover issues here in New England. So I'm liking the underdogs and the teams that people are kind of, maybe fading to your language you use, Preston, a little bit. I'm going with the Raiders today, 3.5. They're going to take care of that. Thanks for taking the call as always. I'll catch up with you guys tomorrow.
Take it easy, man. And by the way, I can give him a 4 +4s for when we track that. There's like 2 more +4s on the board. That's the side I think in this game. We talked about it a little bit earlier in the week too. I thought they were pretty live as a money line option. I had said it for the money line round robin. So if you want a 5th leg, because I only had 4 that I thought were close, add the Raiders on the money line. So if anyone did, they're pending there with the Raiders and the Vandy. By the way, freaking Tulsa should have won that game against Okie State outright. They were winning at 3 different occasions in the fourth quarter. And then Missouri was tied with Kentucky in the fourth quarter. So we had shots, but the Tulsa one should have come in. At least we got the side. The +13 was easy. Who's up next?
We lost new caller Hayden and
Hayden we've had before, right?
I think he was new.
A different Hayden. Oh,
Might
okay.
be a different Hayden. And Cam called in with West Virginia -2.5. He said he might see a 3 if he wants to call in after. I told him we're going to do your sides first.
Okay. I know some people on the other side. He can definitely get 2.5. There's a few 2.5s still. It went up to 3. I know some people that like the +3 on Vatek. I'm probably steering clear, but lean the Vatek way. But maybe he won't want to lock it in now. Is he calling right now?
This is Hayden.
All right. Yeah, put Hayden through. Hayden, is this Hayden from Seattle, Hayden?
No, this is Hayden from Dallas.
Okay, welcome. I think you are a new caller then. I wasn't sure. That we've had a couple of Haydens. Welcome to the show. What do you like this week? What are you looking at?
So one college football play I just wanted to bring to you, and then I have a NFL play for the show. Miami 6.5. I'd make it higher, a little higher than that. I just kind of want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, we just had the caller say he liked the +6.5. Look, Miami, it was 6 most spots overnight at 6.5. I have it higher too, but I also had the App State number higher, and they failed. But they also had chances to win that game by 9. The -7.5, 8 would have worked out. I had it lower when they played Bama, so maybe I'm just too bullish Miami entering the season. But it was weird because I talked about this before if you weren't listening, and that was one of my favorite season win totals under was 9.5 for Miami. So I'm not sure where the disconnect is. But, I mean, Michigan State, I think's, look, they're maybe better than App State, but I'm not sure that's the case. And so now we're getting under a key number of 7 in a similar type of opponent after 1 week because Miami sort of struggled. And look, App State's good. Like, that's nothing really to be too ashamed of or anything. So I'm with you. I like the Miami side. I had it more like 8.5, and you're getting 6 or 6.5. So I'm with you there.
Yeah. I had a touchdown and a field goal. I had it at 10, so I'll probably put that in. But the show play, Cowboys money line, best number you got. Lock it in.
Why is that? I mean, you just said you're from Dallas, so now I have to ask.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some bias here, but if I know we're not going to do those pass run splits we did against Tampa again, because those are too crazy.
Yeah.
But Dak apparently there's 28 runs called and he checked out of 12 of them. If that continues,
I saw
that is
that.
the Cowboys everyone knows and loves. Dak, another 400-yard game, probably automatic. I just think they're one of the best teams in the league.
So money line wise, I can give you plus 145. But by the way, that was no secret. This opened 50.5, 50 actually, the early opener. 50.5, bet all the way to 55 already. Like, and even all morning, it was sitting 52, 51.5 last night, and now it's still blitzed to 55. So, yeah, if the Cowboys are passing that frequently, their totals are just going to be too low for the time being. I'm just not sure it wasn't kind of the game plan versus what the Bucs were doing and showing Dak. And like you said, he audibled out of 12 of the 28 run calls or whatever it was. Like, I can't just hurry and blindly bet over. I don't mind the money line play, though. Plus 145, a little higher variance if they are throwing a ton, and we'll lock you in for that.
Thank you. Yeah, I got the 51.5. I was just staring at the screen. It was just an auto over.
Well done. Can't hate it now, man. You're in good shape. Talk to you later on.
Peace.
All right. Cam, what's up, man? Tell us why you like Virginia Tech, or excuse me, West Virginia against Virginia Tech.
Yeah, what's up, man? How you doing? Just a college kind of system play that I've followed the past couple of years. I like the idea of unranked home favorite laying points to a ranked team. That's cashed in for me the past couple of years, especially with fans back in the stadiums. West Virginia has a week off to prepare. I think they're the right side in this one. I was their first game of the year, or I want to say second, whenever they played Maryland. I was on Maryland, and while Maryland was clearly the right side, West Virginia turned the ball over 4 or 5 times that game. Maryland should have honestly blew them out, but I expect just a better effort from West Virginia. I like their defense. I like their running back. I think they're the right side in this one. I had listened to the call prior to this. I had wanted to give out the over in the Dallas game because I actually got that at 52.5 this morning, but I'm not going to give out 55 on the show now.
Sure.
It's gotten way too high. So
that's a good snag,
that.
regardless.
I did take 52.5 this morning.
Well done. Real quick, by the way, West Virginia, they kind of had a week off, but they didn't. They beat LIU, I think it was, some small school, 66-0.
Yeah.
So they probably didn't prepare double necessarily for Virginia Tech, but they got reps in and they were, they did their thing. But it wasn't a bye week already or anything. Just wanted to clarify for people that were listening in.
Okay. Yeah. Gotcha.
But yeah, we'll lock you in -2.5, and good luck. We'll talk to you.
Yeah, I also wanted to say that the over in that I gave out in the Philly game, just brutal. I mean, Philly scores 32 on Atlanta, and it doesn't go over. That was insane. I did bet Philly on the money line, so
at least you got that then.
Separately.
But Atlanta couldn't even score in the second half a
expect
point.
Atlanta's offense to look that
I'm pretty
bad.
sure second half
and
moved up pretty decently, and all they needed was a field goal and that still lost too. It just 1 point from Atlanta would have gotten it there. They can't figure it out. At least week 1. I'm intrigued by the way, that game week 2. I don't think I'll be able to bet it, but Atlanta playing
against Tampa, right? That line
Tampa, it's
12.5,
13. I think I'm looking. Yeah, 13 most spots. It's high, but it's Atlanta Falcons.
That's super high. Is Tampa home in that one?
No, yeah, Tampa's home. So Atlanta's on the road, and they have less rest because Tampa played the early game Thursday, so there's a disadvantage for rest for Atlanta.
Yeah.
But my number was 11, so I don't know. It's not a huge
I was going
edge,
to say, in all honesty, those are the games when Atlanta kind of plays better, when everyone writes them off after a shitty outing and they're getting 2 touchdowns. That's when
everyone will say, they're an inter-division rival. Atlanta always plays Tampa Bay close. All those narratives will be discussed all week. But I do think the 13s are a little high. So if you hate
I agree.
or love pain, fire on Atlanta. Hey, appreciate the call, man. We'll let you go. We'll talk to you later.
No problem. Thanks.
We're clear, right?
We are clear.
Okay. I know betting extraordinaire is starting soon for Carlos. I'll run through these. I already talked about Miami against Sparty. Look, I think it's low. I liked them against App State. It didn't work out once. It doesn't mean you just back off necessarily. It was a 1-game sample. They had plenty of times up 2. They could have scored a touchdown and won by 9. I mean, look, a couple things happen differently, and they cover, and we're like, hey, let's bet Miami again, and everyone's feeling good about it. All is well. I've probably bet on teams that have not covered like 4 or 5 straight weeks before. That's painful, but it happens. All right, the next one, Toledo on 14s. There's plenty of 14s. I think that's worthwhile. So part of the reason the Colorado State, the fade, I thought they should have been a round pick against Vandy. It's where they opened it, went all the way to 7, and Vandy is like, why are we getting 2-1 on a money line shot on Vandy? And then Colorado State trucked them in the first half. 14-0, probably should have been at least 21-0. And then the half literally flipped, and Vanderbilt just crushed Colorado State in the second half. Like, man, the Rams are bad. Vandy still I'm not even impressed with. I don't think they're any good. Point being, Toledo hangs with Notre Dame. I was bullish. That was one that we liked. We took the 17 with Toledo. They almost nearly won it out. Right now, are they going to have the flat spot because they nearly won in South Bend, and then Notre Dame with a minute and a half left goes and wins it back? Who knows? All I know is Colorado State stinks. This should probably be 17 in my opinion, and you can still get 14. So I do like Toledo. Another one that I believe moved up to 3 across the board. There's a couple 2.5 still. Shop around, but Northwestern 2.5 or better is a buy at Duke. I had that over the other side of the 3, worthwhile buying. Minus 120 or better on a 2.5. There's a bunch of minus 115s. There's a minus 117, a few minus 120. So shop, do your best. Wouldn't lay 3, though. Just putting that out there. ECU, we talked about earlier. I like the plus 9.5, but there's also 10s now. So people against me, since I went over the card late last night, you can get plus 10 on the ECU side against Marshall, so that's interesting. Georgia State's one that moved too much, I believe. I made a note, but that's all the way up to 4. That was 2 for some reason. At home against Charlotte, I guess it's because they got trucked by UNC. And didn't they play another game where they got beat up pretty good? Hold on. They weren't great. Yeah, Army beat them by 33. UNC beat them by 42. So everyone's like, well, Georgia State must be horrible. They might be, but also Army and UNC are a lot better than Charlotte. And Georgia State gets to hang at home in the opener. If that goes back down to 3, I don't think it will now. It's moved too much, but just keep your eye on that game. Utah minus 7, minus 120 or better. You can get 7s flat across the board. Look, there were a lot of people betting against San Diego State last week, and then they went up, I think, like 35 or something at one point against Arizona. For my pick every side, I did use the Aztecs. I just thought the number got out of hand when Arizona was laying 2.5. But now for people to react to the Utah BYU game and that Arizona's really bad. Their season win total was 2.5. I think you're giving too much credit to San Diego State here. Utah at 7 or better is a buy. Whittingham will have them much more focused. Like that first half they played against BYU, turnovers right out of the gate, just like dropping balls, throwing interceptions, just right to the wrong team. It was usually what BYU does when they play Utah. It's fine. 1 week, it happens. I think Utah takes care of business there. Then we talked about the Penn State-Auburn game. I think Auburn will be a popular dog. I actually think Penn State can take it to them. Going into the year, I'm down on Auburn. Haven't had a chance to bet against them yet. 2 like FCS level games essentially to this point. Now is a pretty good time to buy. ASU, we also talked about earlier on the show. It's up to 3.5 now. I wouldn't bet it at 3.5. The 2.5s were crazy. I would bet 3s if you can get 3s. So keep your eye on that game. Last one, Oklahoma State. Even though I liked Tulsa, and Tulsa probably should have won that game if there wasn't some craziness happening. A kick return, a crazy catch that was overturned on a 3rd and 13 that counted as a touchdown. One of the best rushes you'll ever see, stopped behind the line, 4 yards, and he turns it into a touchdown somehow. This is all in the 4th quarter. Boise, look, their score is going to look good against UTEP, but they got outplayed by Central Florida pretty heavily despite only losing by 5, I think was the final. I think they're overrated. Oklahoma State has a few guys coming back on the offensive line that were out against Tulsa. At least that's the expectation for now. The 5, there's 4.5s too. I think that's kind of the top of what we'll get. Look, Oklahoma State's better on a neutral. Boise home field isn't quite what it was back in the day with the blue turf. Value's value. That's just kind of a numbers play despite me actually liking the Tulsa side last week. So those are the sides. We're going to wrap this up quick. Qwan, well done. We're only 5 minutes late. The 5 minutes I gave you at the beginning of the show to talk about Matthew Stafford in the intro. But you did a pretty good job. Well done. Who wants to be a betting extraordinaire is nice, by the way.
I relish in good under pressure sometimes.
He had to think about what he wanted to say, though. That wasn't very
like
good.
19 things going on.
We'll be back. Different stream, different link. In a few minutes, Carlos has his chance to win $25,000 picking the Monday Night Football game tonight. Thank you, guys. We'll be back tomorrow for Last Word Cheetah at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific.